to now, and they will even continue to join us in Oyam. And then our cultural leader, Muzee Yosam Odur Worunyachi of Lango Cultural Foundation, loved his son so dearly, and he promised he will never leave him. Papa, I've received your condolence through your representative who is here. Yes. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, allow me to thank all mourners and pray that God that has brought you here in one piece should preserve your life and take you back in one piece. And those who will make to Lango for the burial, for the final send-off, may the good Lord grant you journey mercies. I say all this for God and my country.
Your Excellency and Mama Janet, I am informed His Excellency has another program. I would have wished to read my minister's full message, but it's a message to the family of the late Honorable Okello from Honorable Sempija, Minister of State and Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs, and the ministry has contributed 10 million shillings to the family, and the UPDF, Minister of Defense and UPDF have committed 96,275,000 to the burial expenses. On that note, sir, allow me to skip through other things in the interest of your time and invite my colleague to invite the Minister of Gender.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Right now, we are moving on to the next two speeches. Before you come on, we are going to hear from the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, the Honorable Amongi Betty, who will then invite the Honorable Right Honorable Prime Minister, who will invite His Excellency. So, Honorable Minister for Gender, please.
Your Excellency, the President and the First Lady, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Ministers, the Deputy Secretary General of NRM, Honorable Ministers and Members of Parliament, and all mourners, Your Excellency, I want to start by thanking you, Your Excellency and Cabinet, for sitting on that fateful day of 2nd of May 2023, and within that very day approved and declared and directed for an official burial. Your Excellency, I thank you so much. Your Excellency, since that day, we had many people who have given us an helping hand. I want to thank the Right Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker and Parliament for stepping in from Tuesday until Friday to support us in the Ministry of Gender and Government, as he is a Member of Parliament, and they have been feeding the mourners until Friday. I want to thank Parliament and the Right Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker. And after Friday, I want to thank others who have made a contribution that has supported us up to yesterday, when we took over on behalf of government as the National Organizing Committee. I want to recognize the contribution made by entities in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, support from NSSF, they are here represented. You can stand up for recognition. Then the workers representative, COFTU and NOTO, who has made contribution, they are here. Then the entity, the National Council of Persons with Disability and others. Your Excellency, Honorable Okello Engolla was in charge of other activities outside Uganda. I had assigned him to handle IGAD matters, East African Community. He was also handling issues to do with African Union. And in his tenure, he made friends out of this country. And today, the Republic of Kenya is represented here by the Minister of Labor and Social Protection, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Florence K. Bore, who flew in yesterday, and I request you, Your Excellency, that she gives a message because she has a flight at 4 so that she can then disengage. If you can have a few minutes, please, my colleague.
We can't tell you how delightful it has been for us to watch every mother treat her child. Big or small, her eyes always light up when she treats them. Make this Mother's Day unforgettable by treating your mom to paradise. Share your story.
Colleague, Minister Betty, and all protocols observed. Your Excellency, just before I read my message of condolences, I want to say I met the late Honorable Minister Okello in Addis Ababa, where we had 2 meetings, the IGAD meeting and the ARALAC meeting. Your Excellency, sir, I was appointed by His Excellency the President William Samoei Ruto recently. I'm only 6 months in office. And I want to thank you for the support that you gave him. I want to say thank you for the mentorship that you gave him. Your Excellency, sir, and it was automatic for us ministers to bond and become friends because you presidents are friends. So when I looked at Minister Okello, to me, he was senior to me in age, in experience at work, and I was ready to learn from him. It's very unfortunate. We talked, we bonded. I even asked him, this Okello name, we have it in Kenya. So he's the Luo of Uganda, the same as the Luo of Kenya. You know, we talked well. So let me not say a lot. Mine was just to come and stand with the people of Uganda, to stand with the family, because I knew him. And I was very shocked when I heard about the sad news. Condolence message to His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, and to the people of Uganda, family and friends of Honorable Patrick Okello Engolla Mako Duogo. Sorry if I have not pronounced it well. I received the tragic news of the passing on of retired Colonel Patrick Okello Engolla with great sadness. I extend my heartfelt condolences to Joyce, the children, and the entire family for this untimely loss. I also extend my condolences to the government, to you, Your Excellency, and the people of Uganda. This is your loss too. We have lost a father, a leader and a patriot, a committed public servant, and a genuine fighter for the nation and the people of Uganda. Today we celebrate a man who gave his country 43 years of uninterrupted public service. Starting as an army recruit at the age of 22, Patrick Engolla was promoted to major, then to a lieutenant colonel, and then to full colonel in a sterling military career. And this has been said by his children and the wife. 26 years later, he felt the call to serve the people in a more hands-on capacity, starting again from the bottom as LCV chair for 10 years, then MP, and finally as a cabinet minister. This is a life well lived. This is a legacy that should inspire all of us. I join you in praying for the soul of your friend Patrick, that the good Lord may grant him eternal rest. Rest in peace, Honorable Okello. May God bless you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At an appropriate time, I would request that when she disengages, you will understand. Your Excellency, as a family of the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, we are here today, or she wants, the Excellency wants you to.
Honourable Minister, I seek your indulgence to announce a message from the church. Thank you. The church has collected 7,871,000 shillings, and the bishop will hand it over to Widow Joyce. Thank you, Madam Minister.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we are here today to bid farewell to Honorable Colonel Retired Charles Patrick Okello Engolla Machodwogo, who is the MP for Oyam North in Oyam District and the Minister of State in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, in charge of labor, employment, and industrial relations. Honorable Okello Engolla was a fearless fighter, committed NRM leader, a loving husband, father, grandfather, and exceedingly humble spiritual warriors. And many people didn't know that actually Honorable Okello Engolla was a very prayerful person. He dedicated his entire life to serving the people of this country, the army, government, and God the Almighty. Like all men of courage, the death of the Honorable Colonel Retired Charles Okello Engolla has generated mixed reactions, a few of them cowardly. Social media has been awash and creating their own theories that the cause of the death and this senseless murder was due to lack of payment. Others even going to celebrate and starting to condemn government officials for mistreating their bodyguards, drivers, and domestic workers. Your Excellency, we do not associate with this cowardly, reactionary tendency with the tendency that should drive our country. And I do not want it to be associated to any religion or ethnic groups in this country. We take it as those who were doing that were individual, indisciplined people. For I know of no any religion or African culture where retribution is meted on the dead. It is not part of our African culture. In our Luo language, it is called joke. The debate, Your Excellency, should have been, how do we isolate individual indisciplined people who takes the law in their hands? Your Excellency, while we should acknowledge that it is the right of citizens to hold government accountable for its action or inactions, but it is a responsibility of those citizens to hold government accountable, but also hold individuals to carry their responsibility and to respect others and be sensitive to the national debate. They said private servitude. I'd been with the minister for at least 1 month. If he had disgruntlement in respect to money, sure, it couldn't and cannot be with the retired Colonel Okello Engolla, the minister, whom he had served for less than a month. There must be another reason why he killed the honorable minister. It had nothing to do with the money. Even if money was involved, Your Excellency, the root of his financial stress had nothing to do with the Honorable Colonel Okello Engolla. It had nothing to do with Okello Engolla. Okello Engolla does not pay people. He doesn't. He's a minister. We therefore call for civil discourse on the matter. And the discourse should be anchored on facts, on evidence, and historical evaluation of the record of the private servitude. We will wait for the report of the investigators to tell us what triggered and caused the several bullets mented on the innocent, gallant soldier who had survived the LRA war only to be killed during peaceful time, which he played a part in its restoration. It is saddening. I knew Colonel Okello Engolla as a leader in 2001 when I was elected as the woman member of parliament for Apache district. And my work required me to tour the internally displaced camps. That time, the Honorable Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Honorable Tassis Kabwejere, requested me to join him in touring the IDP camps so that we sensitize our people to leave the IDP camps. And when we toured and we reached my home in Minakulo, he indicated to me of a Lango son who was manning Brigade 501 in Opit, which is in the current Omoro district, bordering Lango sub-region, but Omoro is in Acholi. And because of its neighboring Oyam, Opit was also undertaking Minakulu and Zambia, where I come from. Honorable Tassis Kabwejere told me about Okello Engolla, who had done very good work together with the UPDF. And while we toured, we later went back to dismantle the IDP camps, and in one of the meetings, the professor recognized the contribution of the Honorable Okello Engolla Machodwogo. The Honorable Minister had a very honest empathy and a strong place for the people of Lango in his heart. The name Machodwogo was not given to him by his family or his clan, but by locals from Minakulu, where he was covering. And he manned that Brigade 501 based in Opit with a lot of support and engagement with the local communities. That time Minakulu had become a source of food for the rebels, who frequently raided the sub-county for food. And so Oyam became one of the districts in Lango and Acholi whose residents were ordered by the then commander of the army to leave their homes and be in IDP camps within 48 hours to pave way for the army to fight the LRA insurgency. When he was deployed in 501 Opit, he fought relentlessly, and within months, the rebels had been repulsed from Minakulu, where I come from. I want to thank him for making me be a beneficiary of his hard work. That is when the locals were able to go back home and light fire to cook their own food and tilt their own land. At the time, they were depending on World Food Program handouts and ratio. To our people at that time, the issue ceased to be a matter of political parties. It was a matter of life and death. He became the warrior who did the most important of all things another human being could do to another: restoring the human dignity. After the camps were dismantled, the local community gathered and gave him the name Machodwogo, meaning we used not to cook, because if you cooked, the smoke would alert the rebels, and the rebels would attack, knowing that in that area there are people. So people used not to cook with firewood during evenings. So the name Machodwogo was an appreciation, an expression of rewarding him with a name that he worked to make people return back home. He later was promoted and retired from the army, which paved way for him to stand as LC5 chairman, Apache district at the time. And in the middle, Oyam became a district. And he said, I want to serve the people of Oyam. I will resign from my seat, because it was me and him. As a woman MP, I was asked also to choose whether to resign or remain in Apache as a woman MP. For him, he chose to resign from Apache and went and contested again for Oyam within the same period, just after about months serving as Apache District LC5. And he was elected with 93% of the votes. Your Excellency, that is the time when I confirmed that to an ordinary person, an ordinary Ugandans living out there, peace and security can be the only demand from a leader. because it is the facilitator for all the needs. And in all the subsequent election for Honorable Okello Engolla, it was not about what he did. Everybody would go to vote and say, Masho Duogo. We are going back to return Masho Duogo because he brought for us peace. It really tells us the central role peace plays in any community. In 2001, Your Excellency, you appointed him as a Minister of State in the Ministry of Gender. Both me and Okello Engolla comes from Oyam district. And so when there were many lists that kept on coming, when this one came, many of us also thought it was the same lists that were just scammed lists. But I don't know where he got his source. He called me laughing so loud and said, my boss, I'm at your service. And that was Okello Engolla. He would write for you a report even when he has attended only a workshop. So, Your Excellency, in the ministry, he has been in charge of negotiations, engagement, and implementation of labor issues. IGAD EU, overseeing inspection of workplaces, which he has done so well, coordinating our involvement with industrial court, and supervising and compensation and labor dispute. But even when he was in the Ministry of Gender, Your Excellency, it did not deter him from his passion for military service and peace. Recently, before his death, he had sought permission, and his meeting with the general was part of the discussion of how he can work together with our ministers in defense and internal affairs to ensure that the Karamojong insurgency is curtailed. So, Honorable Okello Engolla, the Minister of State, will remain one of the pillars of Lango, and his death as our person from Oyam is a painful death. But as I conclude, I want to remind the mourners that all of us here, that after the return of peace in northern Uganda, we have joined hands for nation building. And Your Excellency, that's why I'm here. That's why Honorable Mao is seated in this congregation. Because as leaders from the north, we are saying we want to focus on the important debate of national and historical contribution we can make, and how we can join hands to forge a common front for a united and prosperous country for all. That is what guided the actions of our fallen son, and that is what should guide our action. It is not a roller coaster, but it has never been for any country. It's not an easy thing to build a nation. We must keep going responsibly, knowing that we are all part of this family called Uganda. To my people in Lango, the soldier who killed our son, Honorable Okello Engolla, was an employee of the state. He used the gun given to him by the state to execute his duty of protecting Honorable Okello Engolla, to instead commit a criminal offense punishable by the laws of Uganda. Unfortunately, he killed himself. We cannot therefore condemn the people of his tribe or clan for a crime he committed while on state duty. I appeal to you, the people of Lango, that we can only call upon government to support the family, considering that the death of their breadwinner and our leader was not expected, and that he died in the cause of performing state duty. And secondly, to call upon the investigating arm of government to do a thorough job and tell us the cause and what propelled Private Sabiti to kill the Honorable. To the widow and family, we have no doubt that our sadness and sorrow are nothing compared to the pain and agony that was visited on you that fateful Tuesday. when your beloved husband, father, was murdered by the one who was meant to protect him. Only God knows how to heal you. And I want to end by saying, may the memory of his conviction and action shine a light on our path, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. With that, I now invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister to invite His Excellency the President.
Your Excellency the President and Mama, the third Deputy Prime Minister, our visiting minister who has just gone from Kenya, the Honorable Ministers, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Emeritus, the clergy, the Honorable Deputy Secretary General, the Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the bereaved family, fellow mourners, I bring you condolences from the office of the Prime Minister following the demise of our brother, the Minister of State, Labor and Employment, the Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okello Engolla Machodogo, which occurred on the 2nd May this year. Your Excellency, like many other people have said, I want to thank you for granting our brother, the late Engolla, an official burial. It is because of this that government has taken over all the burial expenses so that our brother is given a befitting send-off. I want to take this opportunity to once again thank the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Ministers, the Honorable Members of Parliament for your moving eulogies to the Honorable Engolla in the House yesterday, where I moved a motion to pay tribute to our brother. Your Excellency, a number of requests came up yesterday in Parliament, and I know you know how to handle this better than anybody. The requests definitely will go through you to Cabinet, and I know you usually give us guidance. And I had some of these requests being brought forward here. I want to thank everyone who is standing with government and the bereaved family in this sorrowful period. Like everybody has said, the late Engolla was a very strong cadre of NRM. He was a brave man and a selfless leader in the military and politics. Your Excellency, I want to say that all that people have said about Engolla is a correct record. I don't want to waste your time. But I want to emphasize one point, that while we mourn the loss of our brother, Honorable Engolla, others celebrated his demise through jokes on social media. I condemn this practice because it is inhuman and immoral. Your Excellency, let me take this opportunity to invite you to speak to the mourners. Thank you so much. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister the family, the Prime Minister Emeritus, the Bishop, the members of the ministers, members of Parliament, and all the mourners. Macho Dogo was a patriot. Because as you hear, I first saw him in 1986. I sent out to a social media message telling the social media people when I first saw him. I was actually mixing it up in my head. I didn't remember whether it was 1979 or 1986. However, when I went to Revere Barracks, that's where I saw him for the first time. And I don't know when he joined the army, but I saw him manning a gun that we call 14.5 millimeter anti-aircraft gun. It's an anti-aircraft gun. That's why I saw him for the first time. And you can know that he was a patriot because you remember initially the political elite from the north were trying to confuse our people in the north to be against the NRA. They were telling them that that NRA had overthrown government Megwa, government Megwa, the government of the Achodis, and that all our northern people should be against the NRAM. Therefore, you can see that there are some of those cadres from the north who rejected that nonsense because they knew, I don't know how they knew, but they were not swayed by that misrepresentation. And he joined the NRA. I have now been told that it was 1986, early, when I saw him the first time. So he was a patriot. He didn't listen to the tribal, to this one. That one I saw, and I can witness because I saw it. Then later on, he proved that he was a good soldier. As you hear, that name Macho Dogo, which in our Luo language means Mach is fire. Dogo apparently means something to come back. You had Honorable Bet telling you the context of that praise name. It is because he was effective against the rebels, and the people were able to go back and cook and have a normal life instead of fearing to make fire so that the terrorists see them and come for them. So that is the second quality of Macho Dogo, a good soldier, a patriot and a good soldier. Now, he was also very active in development. I didn't know about the farming. Nobody had told me about the farming, which the children have talked about. But I remember when he was LC5 chairman, he was always telling me about a school called Icheme something, that was supposed to, I don't know whether it was it among what happened to Icheme? Among Tiokwene.
Your Excellency,
Is it Icheme Secondary School or what?
Icheme Girls Secondary School.
There was always Engolla with Icheme. What happened to you? You tell us what happened.
Icheme Girls is a secondary school that needed additional infrastructure, and it also earlier had been attacked by the LRA.
And what did we do about it? Because he was talking about it all the time.
He wanted it to be supported with
but
infrastructure.
What happened? Did we support it or what?
At the moment, it is a Catholic-founded school. The support has not yet, what he had envisaged had not yet been done.
Oh, that's terrible. Because Icheme Aboke. What?
Then that one is also Aboke girls, so that was also attacked by LRA and abducted a number of girls that stayed in the bush for a long time and later returned.
So I remember him talking passionately about those projects. Now I've been told, we are hearing all of us here, that he was actually internalizing our programs, like the 4 acres model, as you heard the children saying. So he was all those things: a patriot, good and courageous soldier, and development-minded. Now, definitely, Okello Engolla had nothing to do with the cause of his death. There's no way you can say that this boy did what he did because Engolla did this, did that, because, as Among has told you, this boy had just been there 1 month. So it could not have been anything to do with Engolla. It must be something else, a problem somewhere else. Now, we are still waiting for the report. The CDF has constituted a board of inquiry. I saw it in an army message. A BOI, board of inquiry, is the way we do things in the army. And this one is headed by a very experienced intelligence officer, Brigadier Gumayo. I saw the message of the CDF. So we are going to get the report. However, I think there is one culprit, one factor, which I suspect. Of course, I have been aware of some of those issues. And this is the members of the political class and even the members of the UPDF departing from the NRA line. Not Engolla, but some other people. This NRA, which started in 1971 as a military organization, had started earlier in the 1960s, the mid-60s, as a student movement. People like Rugunda there were part of this, and I was part of that from the very beginning. Now, the NRA ideology and strategy and work method was voluntarism, patriotism. We did things for our country. You can say that for 20 years, from 1965 there, up to 1987, that's a period of about 21 years, were engaged almost continuously in a political military struggle for no pay and on the basis of sacrifice, until we were able to win power. Now, when we won power, among the civilian side, we started getting people who are not listening to our advice, talking of benefits, salaries, what, allowances. Now, I tried to advise you people, what you are talking about is premature. You are like, there was a situation in the past where there was a big problem of hunger and many people died, including a woman who was suckling a baby. She also died from hunger. But the baby didn't die. The baby kept on suckling the dead body. So when I hear people struggling for salaries, allowances, from where will this come from? You know how Uganda was in 1986. The economy had collapsed completely. So those people who have been pushing that line are really need to realize their mistakes. Until 1996, when I appointed a committee where this friend of ours, General Tumukunde, Lieutenant General Tumukunde was a member, and with our Mzee, Henry Kajura, they wrote a report which you should dig up and read. That report did research. I remember them representing that research to me in Nakasero, recommending that they had done research all over the place, in Sweden, in other places, and they were recommending that now Uganda should adopt a public pay structure where they were calling it compression ratio. Compression ratio. Meaning, what is the difference between the highest paid public servant and the lowest paid public servant? And they recommended that they had done some studies, they had gone to Sweden, and they recommended a compression ratio of 1 to 10, which means that if the highest public paid civil servant is getting 10 million, the lowest should get 1 million. Now this, I brought it to the system. You can trace what happened to it. And that's how I agreed, because from 1987 to 1996, that time of the Tumukunde report, I was getting 150,000 shillings per month as president. That was my salary. And we were rebuilding our country. And I was the highest paid at that time, 150,000. But then, when we started paying these judges, the judges are the ones who started paying 3.2 million that time. So when the Tumukunde brought this report with Kajura, that's when I agreed that as president from 1996, I could be paid 3.6 million, provided everybody adheres to that. And then we bring up the lower people. So if the president is getting 3.6 million, then the lowest person should be paid 360,000. And we thought we had agreed. But no sooner had we agreed on that, then other people started doing other things. So I appeal to Ugandans, to the political class especially, the political class, come back to the NRA doctrine. Our doctrine was work for patriotism, not for pay, because it's not yet time for your country, which suffered so much, to come back to start being demanded, like suckling your mother when she's in coma. When your mother is lying down, maybe not dead, but not conscious, and you are demanding excessive milk from her. So that mentality of allowances, what have you, is a wrong mentality. Because if you say bodyguards, allowances, what have you, how about the ones who are fighting in Congo now? Does it mean that every time a soldier goes on a patrol, he gets allowance? How will you sustain that? And what sort of army is that? So these soldiers, when they come from the army and come to the civilian sector, they get caught up in that mercenarism of the parasites who don't think about their country. Just money, money, money. Money from where? You know your country, how it is. That's why, therefore, as president, I refused. They came to me, increase the salary of the president. Other presidents are getting, I don't know what. I said, those are presidents of other countries. Uganda, I know what it is. So, I have refused the salary rise for the president. Then the salary is 3.6 million. 20% goes to NRM. I don't know where they put it. So I hear Mama Janet on her account on my behalf gets 2.7 million. So I would like to invite, especially the political class and all the others, to come back to the NRA doctrine, because that doctrine enabled us to fight from nothing, with nothing, until we go to victory. So it's not correct for people to distort our doctrine with this money, allowances and so on. We in the army, what we do, we have got our small pay. Because we knew that if we try to go for big pay, we would never get enough manpower to defend the country. If you have got very high pay, how many people will you pay? That was the problem of Idi Amin. Idi Amin had his so-called soldiers here, high pay, loans for cars. They were staying in Bugorobi flats there. But when war came, they couldn't fight. They had a small army of 20,000. We came with an army of 54,000 from Tanzania. 45,000 Tanzanians, and we, 11,000. They couldn't fight us. They just ran away. Now, if you make the cost of each soldier so high, how will you get enough manpower to defend the country? That's why we said no. We get small pay. In the barracks, which we share with our families. When we go out operation, you get food, not money, food. You get food because your small salary is buying food for your family at home. Now, when you are, what they call these civilians in their mercenary situation, out of station, out of station, out of station. When you are away from the family, you get food. You get food. We cook centrally and eat. Because that's what you need. You need food, not allowances, not money. And we eat. Now, I have checked these bodyguards who are sent from the guard battalion in Bombo are supposed to get food from their battalion. Food, not money, food. And they cook for themselves where they are. So the investigation will find out what was happening on that side. But the soldiers, although they are getting a small salary and they only get food when they are on operations, not money, we evolved collective schemes of supporting their welfare. By coincidence, I'm surprised to hear that Mrs. Engolla, Joyce, was a teacher in Nakasongola Army School. That's exactly our solution. Our solution was, our soldiers, we cannot pay high salaries. If we try to pay high salaries, we shall never buy equipment to defend the country, nor shall we be able to get enough manpower in case we need numbers. So therefore, you fighters of Uganda, President of Uganda, don't ask for high salary. Excellency President, please, HE. You are wonderful, we know you're HE, but please don't ask for a high salary. Because Uganda cannot afford high salaries for HE, for soldiers, for I don't know what, right honorable what. Honorable earth, honorable heaven, thank you so much. We cannot afford it. So, get a small salary. When you are out of station, that's what they call it. When you are not in your home, we don't want you to take the money of the family to buy food on the way. No, we shall give you food when you are on operations. How about my other needs? How about education for my children? The army will educate your children free. In the primary school, in the secondary school. And I'm glad Joyce apparently that's what she said. I didn't know. That she was teaching in the army secondary school. Are there graduates from that army here? From that school? Because she said some had come. Are they here? The children of the army schools? Are some here? Where are they? You come forward and I see you, how you look like. Go there on the microphone, go. Microphone. The children from the army secondary school, the army schools. You tell us who you are and what you studied there. Quickly.
I'm Akulo Susan Winnie. I studied from primary Nakasongola to secondary Nakasongola Army.
And what are you now?
Right now I'm at school, but I did an accounting and finance, but I'm still at school again doing nursing after my husband taking me back to school.
That's another issue. But you studied?
Yes.
Okay. The next, quick.
I'm called Okello Engolla. I studied from primary to secondary. I did procurement and logistics from Kampala International.
Okay. Quickly.
I'm Adong Sarah. I studied in Bumageni Army Barracks Primary School.
In which one?
Bumageni Army Barracks. Bumageni. In Mbali, 3rd Division. And Moroto Army Barracks Primary School, P1 to P7. But I didn't go to secondary, the Army School, only primary.
Your parents were rich. They took you to the rich people.
No, when my dad passed on, definitely I remained with only my mom. So she was teaching in Bumageni, and she didn't have enough money to take me to a good boarding school.
No, but the orphans were supposed to continue and finish their education.
There was no one to help me out, Mr. President.
Now you see that. Okay, sit down.
Thank you.
I'm called Ayakaka Winfred. I studied in primary in Army Nakasongola Army Primary School. Secondary I studied in Nakasongola Army SS.
Okay.
I did catering stroke hotel management.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm called Anjoyo Agnes from Moyo District. I studied in primary and secondary school, Bombo Army Barracks.
Bombo Army Barracks?
Yes, and my father is a soldier. He's still there. I'm proud of him.
Okay,
He's
thank you.
Kololo Ganson.
Thank you.
And I'm a teacher by profession, but I got married in South Sudan. Currently, I'm working in Sudan. And
In Sudan?
Yes.
You are a teacher, grade what? Graduate teacher?
Yes, I just certificate.
Certificate, grade 3?
Yes, grade
Thank
3.
you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I've been looking for this opportunity, always. Yes, I have been looking for this opportunity to one time say thank you to the NRM government. By the time the late I'm called Tina Mone. I hail from Icheme. By the time the late took me on, I had actually dropped out of school. And the only way, because he also had a lot of responsibility, he said, the only way I can do this is to take you to the army school. I remember him asking me, are you ready to go to the army school? I said, yes, I am ready. And that was the beginning of it. I had dropped out of school for a whole year. And
So
right now,
you studied in what level?
I started from senior 1 once again. And
Where?
In Nakasongola Army Secondary School.
Yes.
And until I completed my senior 6 from Nakasongola Army Secondary School, and then did social science at university, picked it on from there. And right now I am working as an administrator at Soroti University.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm called Tumina Rebecca Atim. I studied from Bombo.
Speak in the microphone.
I'm called Tumina Rebecca Atim. I studied from Bombo Army Primary. I went to Nakasongola Army Secondary. I traveled the world with my aunt, who is a diplomat with African Development Bank.
You're working with the Africa?
No. I traveled the world. I'm her personal assistant.
Of
my aunt who works with African Development Bank.
Okay, you're working with your aunt. Okay.
Your Excellency, I'm Colonel John Mark Semanda.
You are Colonel?
Colonel John Mark Semanda.
Semanda.
Yes, sir. I started in Nakasongola. I'm a senior secondary school, and Madam Joyce was my teacher.
And what?
I'm now the director of sports in UPDF, sir.
You went up to what level?
I went up to LDC. I have a diploma in law.
But you finished A level?
Yes, sir. I started it's from senior 1 up to senior 6 in the Nakasongola. I'm a senior.
Thank you. So, these were the NRA solutions. How would we defend our country? And yet we don't have enough money. Number one, we accept low pay. No business of out-of-station allowances. Do you, CDF, come on the microphone, CDF. When soldiers come from 3rd Division or come to bomb, do they get allowances or what?
They don't, sir.
They don't. If we were to give, thank you so much. If a soldier is coming from 3rd Division, Moroto, to come to headquarters to consult, and he needs allowance. The other one from 2nd Division needs allowance. How shall we manage? How shall we defend the country? So, we thought about all these issues, and we provided answers. You people, please, if you want to defend your country, first, fight for no pay from 1965 to 1987. No pay. All we wanted was food. When we were fighting Idi Amin here, we were together with the Tanzanians. Tanzanians were getting paid. But for us, we are not getting paid. Who is to pay us? Are we idiots? You are being told that your mother is in sick bay. Your mother called Uganda is in intensive care. You say, you pay me. You must be an idiot. So, we fought for no pay for more than 20 years. And when we came into government, we accepted low pay. But when you are on operation, away from home, you get food. Separate food, not the one of your family. Regarding the other needs, like the schools, you have seen the witnesses. Provide free education for the children of the soldiers, primary, secondary. Where we had a problem was university. In fact, a few days, some years ago, we were debating this. I don't know how they conclude. How do we support? Do we start an army university? But if you start an army university, what courses will you teach there? And we were having the idea. We were still discussing that. We didn't conclude. On health, army health centers. So, education of the children, health, catered for collectively. Then you come to, but how about, I'm getting a small salary here, but I'm doing nothing at home. What is the answer? The answer was, I'm a circle. You form a circle. It's called Wazalendo. You can borrow from this circle. You buy tax-free materials from the army shop, and you go and build yourself a small house at home. So when this one is implemented, would be able to manage to have a strong army, but at a low cost, which the country could afford. So therefore, like this boy, this Savit whom they say was having financial problems, was having this, what happened? The investigation will tell us. The problem is not with the Angola, the problem is somewhere else. We shall find out what, and I was checking with the CDF before I came here, what are he told me, he gave me something in writing, that the Guard Battalion at Bombo was sending food to these escorts through the ADCs of the, what they call principals in their language. Principal is the one you are guarding, the big man you are guarding, or the big woman. That's the principal. They said they were sending food because these bodyguards should not be the responsibility of the one who is guarded to feed them. No. It should be the unit which sent them to send them food. They may not cook it for them, they can cook for themselves. And even accommodation, they should make arrangements, not necessarily renting buildings or what. They can have tents. When I go up country, you see my soldiers. I don't stay in hotels when I go up country. When I go to Bariregi, even before I had a small house there, I went with my tent. The soldiers went with their tents. The only thing we needed was food. Finish. That is the NRA airline. But therefore, I would want to ask the political class to use, as Joyce said, Okello Engolla has been a sacrificial lamb. He has been sacrificed by some problems that were not his. And we should use them to really sort out all these dark areas and go back to the NRA line. The line of Kamun Gomuganda, Mot, and doing what you can afford. And we don't want people who put pressure on us to do things the country cannot afford. Those are real enemies. And those who are doing it should stop because it derails us. Recently, I supported the increase of the salary for the scientists. This is the NRA doctrine. When we were in the bush, we had no food. We had little food. But if there was some little food, you would give it to the one who is guarding on the OP so that he does not doze and the enemy comes and attacks us. He eats more food than we who are in the camp sleeping, although we are big people, chairman of high command, I don't know, whatever you call yourselves. Eat less because you are not needed on the front. Let the one who is on the front be the one to eat so that he doesn't sleep and he keeps watch properly. That was the principle. That's why I said, give more pay to the scientists because we need them urgently now. These other clerks can wait. A clerk here, a clerk there. There is a clerk who is near the professor. That's because I'm near a professor. I am a super clerk than a sweeper. The one who is sweeping near the professor needs the non-academic staff. The non-academic staff want increment. The academic staff want increment. But we don't have the money. What do we do? That's why even the homosexuals think they can make us homosexuals because we want money from them. Because if you fear to sacrifice. If you don't want the hard way, you become a prostitute. That's what prostitution is about. Now, that is a problem caused by the political class who departed from the NRA line and went to the line of mercenaries. Now, but within the army itself, there are some weaknesses which also must be addressed. The 2003, when Kony invaded Teso, I went there to fight with Kony. And I told Mose Kainerugaba, this MK, at that time he had joined the army, to mobilize all the bodyguards, these bodyguards here. All of them go to the front line. Many of them hid under the beds. I will not tell you what solution I had for them, but I had some solution for them. So within the army, please, this is a very big embarrassment for the army. This is a very big embarrassment for the army. That somebody from you, whom you deployed to guard a useful cadre, ended up killing him. That's not good for you. As the army, you can't cover it up. This one, no. You must accept full responsibility. Why was it? What happened? How could it get to this extent until this boy killed the person he was supposed to guard? This is terrible. So the army will have to sort out its own internal problems. But all this is reversible. In fact, I have started my up-country tours. When I was in the people who are helping me, because the system is a bit clogged with corruption. Corruption had become very serious. The political class, the civil servants, even the ISOs, even this Bet Kamia's group, called IGG, they had all got to compromise it. But the good thing is that the victims are there and we are here. Who are the victims? The Wananchi. When I went to Acholi in a public baraza, the Wananchi told me all the thieves in Acholi, I've gone back and I'm arresting them now. All of them who I mentioned, who took money of PDM, who took the one of money of Emyoga. When I went to West Nile, they told me everything. For instance, there is a new market which the government has built in Arua. The big people allocated themselves all the stores, and they are now subletting to the poor people. This information came from the Wananchi. So I demanded from the RDC, did you hear about, were you in Arua? Yes, I was. Did you hear about this? I heard about it. What did you do? I was going to sack her. She's a girl. She's in Arua there. I was going to sack her. But fortunately, she had written a report to somebody. So I will trace what happened to the report, which came to somebody. What did the somebody do? Now I am continuing with my up-country tour. And of course, if there was a problem of market in Arua, RDC, what did you do? How about, do you know a department called ISO? Have you heard of this? ISO, have you heard of it? There is ISO, there is GISO, there is RISO. They are all there. All these things are happening when all those resources, what? So I was coming for them. But fortunately, Oruka now has written for me a very good document about Masaka, where I am going next. Oh, he has exposed all the things. This one stole this one stole that, this one. So I said, Apoyo Rubanga, Eyarama Edeke, our Defo Mungu, we are going to get to the thieves. So it's unfortunate that this wonderful cadre, who gave his best, ended up being killed by a bad product produced by our system. I want to apologize to the family, to the people of Lango, to the people of Uganda, to the people of Africa, because Uganda there are 1.6 million refugees here. Because people they don't know where to run, they are now running here. Now here where they are running, you have got these weaknesses. No, it will not happen. I want to assure you that the way we crushed all the bad groups, we shall crush even these thieves. These two parasites, there are two parasites, the political class and some of the civil servants. And who are the victims? The Wananchi and the investors. Investors are being harassed for bribes. That's why I have appointed Nakare Manao to handle that side of the investors. Now, I have heard what the churches are saying. Of course, the bishop preached well. How we are a tent here, the tent of the spirit. Now, we shall leave the body here and go to heaven. Okay, that's very good. But God, the maker of the tents here, and the one who built the permanent home where we shall go, arranged that the tent can go on for 110 years. The tent here, that's what the Bible, that part they read. So for Engolla to die at 64, when he was still energetic, this is not good enough. I don't accept the line that, oh, God is the one who decided. No. We have got our own responsibilities here. We must examine and get rid of all these weaknesses here. Then, when the time comes for going to heaven at the right time, no problem, we shall leave this tent and go to the other permanent home. That's no problem. But for me, I am both a Christian but also a Nyankore. Now, with the Nyankore, before the coming of the Christianity, we did not believe in resurrection. We used to say, Abafat Bazoka. The ones who die never come back. That was our view. But we also believed in some form of eternity. If you died and you had children, they say, Yafayanya Itze. He died when his children were old. So I'm very happy to see that Okello had Kunyetsa, his children have grown up. So they are there. Now you keep, and Joyce is a tough lady. I've heard what she's saying. You keep the legacy of Okello. Now, then, I think Okello, what he was doing, the other permanent home also, he may have accessed it. So we work for both. We work for here, but also there. I like these young bishops who are coming, like Bishop of Lango. I think finally we are getting bishops who are walking in the path of Jesus. Because Jesus had you remember Jesus preached the gospel. He preached the gospel. He healed the sick, you remember? He healed the sick. He fed the hungry, but he also worked in the carpentry of Joseph. So he was a preacher, a healer, a feeder of the hungry, and a worker, as Bishop Olwa was saying. So I'm really very annoyed. I'm not only sad, but really annoyed to see that such a good cadre could die at the hands of somebody produced by our own system. This is not good at all. Now, I know our system, our traditional system, Banyankwere call it Okukaraba. Okukaraba, when somebody kills one of your clan people, the other clan must Kukaraba. In the north, they call it Matoput. So I think the people to do Matoput are the army. The army, they want to do Matoput. And they will have to do it. They will have to do it. And Angola don't worry about the 7 cows. The army has got more cows. They can bring more cows than 7. So, because that system is also not bad. For instance, our soldiers accidentally killed one of our supporters, a very good, called Zebra. You remember Zebra, the one who died? I have told our people to make matoput with the family. Yes, you can this forgiving unconditionally. I don't think it's a good idea. I know in the book of Matthew that if you hit him on the left, I turn the right. Me, I'm still in the Old Testament. I'm still in the Old Testament, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I can forgive, but under some conditions. So really, for me, I'm angry. I'm not just sad, but I'm really angry. So with these few words, I again express condolences to the family, to the people of Lango, to the people of Uganda. May the Almighty God rest Okello's soul in eternal peace. Thank you very much. So the army must be the one to do matoput. The army will do the matoput. Will do you tell the clan leaders that we shall do the matoput, and it will not be just 7 cows. That is the traditional. It must be higher than that. Huh? We shall discuss with the clan leaders. You have forgiven, yes. Forgiving is all right, but forgiving with some conditions, because otherwise it will lead to impunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, sir. Your Excellency, I wish to request that we stand for the anthems. Since the Lord Bishop gave us blessing to end the service. Anthem, please. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, the First Lady. Thank you, my Lord Bishop Olwa. Thank you, all of you distinguished mourners. Allow me to invite Brigadier General Wacha to give us the program after here until the interment of the body of our foreign minister.
The body will be transported from here to the home of the deceased, which is located in Chanja, Nakawa Division. It will remain there overnight for a vigil, and tomorrow morning at 0800 hours, the body will be airlifted by helicopter to Oyam, where we expect to have a joint Lango Council session beginning at 10. Overnight vigil, you're most welcome in Chanja.
CTV, we thank you so much for following.